How will Martin McGuinness be remembered?
Depending on which side you're on, I think the memories will be different. He's someone he was very complex, a very intelligent man who was a product of Derry and the Bogside, which was one of the worst hit areas in that British system of effective apartheid, when the province of Northern Ireland remained under British rule. And he grew up at the time when particularly in Derry, they weren't allowed choose what jobs they wanted. They couldn't choose what schools they'd go to. They weren't allowed to vote. And he got involved in that whole movement to change that. And once the peaceful protests broke down after Bloody Sunday, when the British Army, as they've now admitted, fired the first shots, he chose the path of violence. And then once it came to the peace agreement, when things had moved on a lot, he brought with it that authority of someone who had fought for this, which counted a lot with his followers. And when he said, we have fought, now it's the time to say, let's try peace because we have come so far. And, he became good friends with Ian Paisley because Ian Paisley, for all that he was a die-hard Presbyterian Northerner, he cared as well about Northern Ireland. And they shared that. They shared that desire to make it work. And I think both of them, coming from the opposite ends, managed to achieve more than the moderates had earlier, because that broke up badly.
Those Good Friday agreements, by the way, came around the same time that Yitzhak Rabin was assassinated in Israel. Did you ever think at the time that Martin McGuinness might be the target of somebody, a hardliner from his own side?
Oh, that was always a thought, yes. Martin McGuinness was, like Gerry Adams, was always aware of personal safety. They were very concerned about their families. And there was an awful lot of security within Sinn Féin for their leaders in case, loyalists who declared they wanted to kill him or others, in case the British Army did something, or indeed in case he was taken out by people who were unhappy with the move to peace. I mean, there were many splinterings within the Republican movement, and there were many people who felt that the time was not right, that it was not ready until there was a united Ireland to actually stop the war.
Some people were making the comparison this week with Nelson Mandela, because the person who had been part of a group that prone violent action, who then makes peace. In the case of Martin McGuinness, though, he actually had blood on his hands and was linked to actual attacks. So does that, in a way...
It makes it harder, but it also makes, as Elaine pointed out, I think it gives you credibility if you say, I'm really giving it up now, and we all need to, because you're seen as having some validity. And what you're going to have to do when you're trying to make peace is get everyone else to go along, because otherwise it won't hold. And I imagine that helped him, but I'm sure that didn't make it easy for the Protestants who were there as well.